Despite being the smallest state in the nation, Rhode Island boasts over 400 miles of coastline, much of it falling within the Narragansett Bay. A productive, expansive estuary, Narragansett Bay covers 147 square miles, including an expansive network of small bays and coves that act as prime habitat for the northern quahog. The quahog has been an integral part of the Rhode Island identity and Narragansett Bay ecosystem for hundreds of years. The quahog fishery is the single most valuable fishery in Narragansett Bay, with a dockside value of nearly $8 million in 2016. The fishery supports a fleet of more than 500 active Rhode Island shell fishermen, many of whom have been fishing for decades. The management of the quahog fishery is primarily informed by data from a hydraulic dredge survey that covers only a small portion of Narragansett Bay every year due to cost and gear constraints.
The quahog industry has kind of long felt that the data being used in the quahog stock assessment to inform quahog management has been insufficient. So the surveys that primarily inform those stock assessments are only conducted for part of the year, whereas the quahog is a year-round fishery and in areas that are not always in line with where they're commercially fishing.
On occasion, I would hear remarks about the stock assessment method that was going on here as DEM was doing their resource assessment. And the fishermen were very concerned that the hydraulic dredge system was not representing the population as accurately as they thought they could do with a bull rake.
The Commercial Fisheries Research Foundation, in collaboration with members of the quahog fishing industry, scientists at Roger Williams University, and fisheries managers at the Rhode Island Department of Environmental Management, developed a solution to this problem in 2016, the Quahog Research Fleet. The Quahog Research Fleet employs commercial shell fishermen to collect quahog data from across Narragansett Bay throughout the year to supplement the dredge survey and, ultimately, ensure the long-term sustainability of the historic quahog fishery.
I thought it was a great idea. I think this is something that I've actually been hoping that somebody would do for years, just finding out the true biomass with hand rakers and find out what's going on.
I think collaborative research can be a very useful tool for fisheries science and management. It provides a huge platform to collect a lot of data that normally would be relatively inaccessible and hard to get. Fishermen are out on the water a large portion of the year, and they're more than capable of collecting a wide range of data.
The Quahog Research Fleet is approached collaboratively to maximize the impact of all partners' contributions and to ensure successful application of collected data to quahog management. The shell fishermen participating in the Quahog Research Fleet use a specialized tablet app and standardized sorting racks to accurately and efficiently record biological and fishery data. They record this data from their quahog catch in areas and times of year that are not accessible to the dredge survey. To ensure data quality, participant shell fishermen follow scientific sampling protocols, including wireless data transfer, and the CFRF audits the quahog database regularly.
When I get to a spot, I'll start digging, and then I'll log in and I'll put the Latin lawn in there. And when I finish the rake, just bring it up, I can sort it all out, and then start with the hogs and the cherries and the tops and the necks.
The data collected by the research fleet is essential to increasing the spatial and temporal coverage of the dredge survey and accuracy of the quahog stock assessment. An important component of the project is calibrating the catch efficiency of each quahog research fleet participant, as well as the dredge survey.
If we're trying to figure out what the actual standing stock is, what the density is down there, we need to know whether they're getting everything or 50% of the quahogs they encounter end up in the basket, what the scoop is. And so the calibration process actually puts divers down on the bull rake and they follow it and they pick up all of the quahogs that are missed. And so not only can we figure out distance and area surveyed and number of quahogs, but we also know what their catch efficiency is.
Since its inception in late 2016, the Quahog Research Fleet has sampled over 22,000 quahogs throughout Narragansett Bay, providing a novel perspective of the quahog resource and fishery. Ultimately, the Quahog Research Fleet provides an opportunity for shell fishermen to contribute to and have confidence in the Quahog stock assessment and management process. The Quahog research fleet has begun addressing the data needs surrounding quahogs in Narragansett Bay and will contribute to the sustainable management of this valuable resource for many years to come.
You know, we've never seen anybody actually reach out and ask for ideas. Practical knowledge and book knowledge, I think, is perfect, and there's very few people who have the knowledge, you know, from studies who are actually fishermen. So it's nice that they take in that the fishermen with their knowledge and they put everything together.
The quahog fishermen that participate in the Quahog research fleet are and have been for many years very, very dedicated to their fishery. They know that participating in research and contributing to the science and management of the quahog resource is the best thing that they can do for their industry, for their business, and really for their families in the long term.
We wouldn't be able to do it without the collaboration of all these different components. From the state side, we have expertise in the methodologies for sampling and quahogs themselves, but again, industry, they're out there every day. They're the ones that see daily changes out there, and that information has been valuable either as information outside of the assessment that helps us inform decisions based on results, or in some even instances as direct inputs to the assessment models.
It takes the right kind of people, and we're really fortunate here in Rhode Island in that we do seem to have the right grouping of people on all three of those different perspectives. So it really has allowed us to put everybody down at the table and communicate, and I think that's probably the absolute necessity of doing this kind of work, is to have everybody at the table and all contributing their part.
In the future, the CFRF hopes to expand the research fleet to include more fishermen and expand spatial coverage to ensure the long-term sustainability and prosperity of the resource and the fishing communities and seafood consumers that depend upon it. For more information, follow along on the Foundation's website at cfrfoundation.org.